Good everyone, welcome to this video. Today we have a review on the Chiha Long Gun. This is one of the new recent vehicles of patch 1.101, because Gaijin appears to be afraid of the number 2. So the Chiha Long Gun is a rank 2 battle rating 2.7 tank, and as you can tell this thing is a bit unusual from what you would expect from your average Chiha. This tank was essentially made to defend the homeland, because obviously the Japanese were on their back end, or let's put it on the back foot more like, and they needed more. Well, obviously they didn't have much material for ships, and obviously the ships were getting sunk anyway, so it wasn't really a huge benefit to them. And they thought, what better way to take an old medium tank chassis, which was outdated as all hell, and slap a 120mm ship gun to it. I mean, that's one way to get a vehicle chassis used, but that's certainly not the way I would do it. So the Chiha long gun is obviously a Chiha based vehicle, and being that it is rather maneuverable for what it is. 170 horsepower at 14.8 tons, whilst it doesn't have the greatest power to weight ratio, it certainly does get out and about considering the size of the gun that it's lugging. So obviously I'm not going to go over the hull, because the hull is just your standard Chiha apart from missing the machine gun port, which is welded up with additional 20mm of plating there. No one shoots here, so don't expect to get shot there. They always go for the crewman on the top. So the gun itself is actually rather thick, but that's also a curse to it because pretty much everyone's going to shoot the gun and take out your only weapon. And with your crewmen only having these 10mm sheets to protect them, which it only covers half their body, so don't expect to actually do anything too special with it. And plus, the actual metal plates look thicker than 10mm of actual thickness. They look to be more like 50, but this is Gaijin. They clearly can't model actual thickness properly. So yeah. Additionally, most of the crew members appear to have the strongest, or they appear to have no pain tolerance because they're actually leaning on the metal exhausts, which are A, very hot, and B, probably going to hurt your legs after a while, but I don't think these two loaders on the back really care. You've then got your commander positioned to the right of the gun, and your gunner is to the left. If you're going to try and protect your gunner, please do angle the vehicle to the left, and make sure to at least try and use the breach as a bit of spaced armor, because it's the only bit of armor you're going to have. Now, your biggest threats are artillery and also, well, machine guns. That's really the biggest threat. I mean, I died to a 4M gas in this thing. That gives you an idea of how crap the actual armor is on this vehicle. There's no protection for the group, pretty much. The gun is pretty much your only protection, because those 10mm sheets ain't stopping shit. Let's put it that way. But obviously, most of the crewmen are exposed to the elements. The only crew member who's actually safe is the driver, and even then, he's only safe from up to 50 cal fire, and even then, the 50s might penetrate. But obviously, you've got your gearbox, which could soak up a shot if someone decides to shoot in the lower glacis area, although I severely doubt it. And, well, the gun itself does have good performance to make up for the lackluster protection. Let's go over the modifications. So both shells are unlocked from the beginning of the vehicle's unlock. You get the ordinary Mod 1 HE round. I never used it. And then you get the semi-armor piercing capped ballistic capped. This shell is very hit and miss at a up tier level, because obviously we can go up to 3.7 with this vehicle. It's very hit and miss. I personally didn't have much success in the up tiers with this shell, and in the down tiers, it was pretty much stomping whatever the actual nation I fought against, let's put it that way. But with only 10 rounds, you're going to need to make your shots work, and obviously not all the shots are going to penetrate. And that's rather annoying, considering this vehicle does have a 12-second reload on the, well, on micro it's 11.5, but for most people it will probably be about a 12-second reload. And with 103mm of penetration, that's not a lot for an up tier. Considering that in the 3.7 range we have the Panzer IV F2, which has a smaller caliber gun, is more protected, which is saying something, just considering it's Panzer IV F2, and it gets more penetration. I would have expected more from this sort of gun, but I reckon Gaijin don't want to give it its full armor-piercing capped ballistic cap shell, because that would probably be pushing in the 240 region, which means this vehicle will probably sell at about a 4.0 BR, which it doesn't deserve. So, now that we've gone into depth about that, let's go into depth about how the Spade went. I'll see you in a couple. So once again, we're on my desktop, and well, this one is a bit more complicated, but don't worry, I'm going to walk you through it. It's quite simple. So, Battle 1 was no air kills, 2 ground kills, 1 assist, 1 capture, and I died. 10,029 Silver Lions, 1500 RP. Battle number 2, 0 air kills. In fact, I'm just going to ignore the air kills until we get to the 12th battle, which was the Spade battle. 2 ground kills, no assists, no captures, and a death. 6,039 SL, 302 RP. Battle 3, 3 ground kills, 1 assist, 0 captures, no death. Sorry, yes, there was a death. I read Battle 4 for some reason. 12,344 SL and 851 RP gained. Battle number 4 was the first battle that I actually survived. 4 ground kills, no assists, no captures, and I survived. 8,341 SL, 1,185 RP. Battle 5, 2 kills, 1 assist, no death, 7,521 SL, 1,352 RP. Now before I continue, on all these newer Spade reviews, the math of the SL and RP may be a little off. Just bear in mind that doesn't take into account wins and obviously the benefits that you would get from that. It doesn't take into account that. Battle 6, 4 kills, no death, 12,730 SL, 632 RP. Battle 7, my first ace, but unfortunately I was killed in this battle. 5 kills, 1 base capture, I did die, 15,461 SL, 2,130 RP. Then we get back to the deaths, which these next few battles were a lot of deaths, but to be fair, given the odds, I did pretty well to actually do some of the battles that you're going to see in these, well, in the actual ground kills department. 2 kills, death, 5,685, 468 for Battle 8. Battle 9, which is the battle that you're going to be seeing today, 8 kills, 1 assist, a death, 25,447 SL, 2,215 RP. Then obviously 2 kills, no assist, I died, meaningless battle actual gain from that because it was on Tunisia. 3,524 SL, 356 RP. Battle 11 was pretty much the same as Battle 10 with 2 kills, 1 assist, a death. 8,463 since it was a win. 1,441. And then Battle 12 was 1 air kill, 4 ground kills, 1 assist, 0 captures. Only just survived. 14,232 SL and 1,447 RP. Not bad overall. I mean, given this vehicle... Oh, and I forgot to mention, since the picture's there of the vehicle, the gun does not rotate 360 degrees like in that picture that you see to the left. It only rotates about 160 across the front of the vehicle, so just bear that in mind. It doesn't go all the way back. But yeah, this vehicle was alright to Spade. It's just, as you'll notice, there was a lot of 2 kills and a death. This was mainly due to getting paired with German teams. I've noticed they tended to do worse than your allied teams. And the 8-kill game was against Germany. That gives you an idea. You will have better success fighting the Germans because the German players, when you get paired with them, appear to just be brain dead. But obviously we're going to be going over the vehicle's gun and how it did in the battle as well. But anyway, I'll see you all in a couple of moments. Well, welcome to the battle. Obviously we're in the Chiha long gun and this is the 8-kill match on Tunisia. And obviously, as I mentioned, we are fighting the Germans, the Italians, and the Swedish. This was the best sort of matchmaking that I could get, because fighting the Germans seems to be the best result for this sort of vehicle. So as I mentioned in the beginning, the mobility of this vehicle is rather good. It's a Chiha chassis. I'm very familiar with it. It's a nice little chassis, and I'll always respect it. Whilst it doesn't have very good armor, you don't need it to. It's got good mobility to position itself rather well. Now, there is a spare track link to the right of the left loader's foot, which I mean, it's nice to have that, but why is it not on the lower glaciers? Because then it might add some additional protection, because I think the regular Chiha Kai has that. But, there well. But that huge box which the arms of the loaders are resting on, that's where your ammunition is stored, and, well, it has no armor. NG fire can ammo rack this thing, so just bear that in mind. So, in this battle, I was about half spaded to 3/4 spaded, so the mobility isn't fully finished in terms of mods. And I'm just going to point out the gun here, as I mentioned in the actual describing the actual battles and how they went. As you'll notice, the gun can only traverse about 160 to 150 degrees across the front of the vehicle. It doesn't actually go all the way back. Apparently it can do that IRL, but I reckon they've done that to keep the vehicle unbalanced, like to keep it balanced, because obviously you don't want a full 360 120mm that can just blaze away whenever it feels like. I don't know why Gaijin would consider this thing overpowered, but I'm not them, so I can't exactly say. So you'll notice with my positioning, I started with the left-hand spawn, but I went to here. This is because going across this route gives you more cover, and you're less likely to be shot at from the town. And subsequently, I took the safer route because I wasn't too sure where the enemies would be. And with them having Pumas, you can never be too sure. Kill number 1. Now, as you'll notice, the semi-armor piercing round can, well, not only can it do ammo racks and it can do normal APHE stuff, it can also function like a high explosive round given the angle of approach. And as you saw there, the actual shell did actually detonate, but the AP characteristic kept it going and detracked that Panzer IIIM over there. Now the Panzer IIIM is wondering what the hell just hit me, because that felt like a train. The second shot hits spaced armor. The gun does struggle against spaced armor. So if you're going to go for a shot against something like that Panzer III, you have to go for a shot like that. Kill number 2. Down to 6 shells, which if you know your maths, I'm fairly certain you can work it out. Hint, hint. I have to make a maths joke at some point. And don't worry, when I review the P51C10, you will be getting a Red Tails joke. I can assure you that. That thing is actually surprisingly quick to Spade because of one of the matches I had. No one in the Discord server drop any hints in the comments below, please. We want to keep it a surprise for for those who do not, who are not in the Discord server. Which, by the way, if you do want to get in, just ask me for a link and I'll send you one in the comments below. So at this point, I'm looking around to just survey the area, and obviously with the enemy having now a plane, a BF-1 and an F-2, I kind of have to be careful in my positioning. When you got a gun like this, a tank like an STRV M42 is just easy pickings. Kill number 3. Like I say though, once you get used to the gun, and this shot is incredible, I do not know how I pulled this off. And yeah, don't ask me about that one. Not even I know. I reckon it personally would, like, I reckon the shell overmatched the roof armor of the vehicle, and then it went from there. Like, that seems to be what I experienced. It seemed to overmatch light armor, which, to be fair, makes sense given the caliber of the shell. But then obviously once it's on the inside, it functions like a normal HE shell, so there you go. 4 shots left, and I have 4 kills to get. Let's see what we can do about that. Well, that's helpful, isn't it? Kill number 5, and there's the ace. That seems to be pretty much like the sort of penetrations that I did get for the most part. It just acts very odd compared to normal shells. So yeah, it's an unusual gun to get used to, but once you get used to it, I don't know how I missed that Panzer III the first time. Don't ask me. I'm just gonna blame my eyesight because my eyesight isn't 100%, but I do spot him eventually. And well, he's gone behind the rock, and yeah, but to be fair, if this shell penetrates, you don't even need to hit the fighting compartment. Kill number 6. Obviously, as you noticed there, I looked up, because obviously there is a Stuka coming in. Now, it is a G2 Stuka, but personally, it isn't great against air attack. I'll put that lightly. Like, literally, the first match that I had was, well, I had 2 kills. I then got shot in the arse, which set me on fire, and obviously I didn't have FPE. And then I got strafed by like 3 planes and finished off by a Swedish truck because the AA on our team was useless, and most importantly, well, let's put it this way, it was not fun, the first battle, but at the end of the day, not all your battles are going to be fun, and that's what this new change to the Spade reviews is going to be about. So at this point, there's actually an AA sat behind this rock, and obviously I'm looking to try and get a shot on him, and I do again get a lucky shot on him, which I wasn't expecting to. But as you can tell, this vehicle is really best played defensively. I'm being very cautious about it. And there's Joe committing a war crime, kill number 7. I'd feel more sorry for the gunner if it was a HE round personally, but I don't carry HE in this thing. To me, the HE round is very situational, and personally, if the HE can kill it, the SAP can kill it, so it's not a huge deal. Down to 1 shell, and the last enemy over there is a Panzerjäger 1. Well, the last enemy that I can see for now, and obviously I saw him firing earlier. I made the move to go towards the B point to obviously grab some more shells, which ended up being a waste of time, as you're going to see in a moment. But I'm obviously keeping an eye out for the Panzerjäger. The Panzerjäger comes around the corner. I have just enough gun traverse to bring the gun round, and well, it's a HE round, a semi-armor piercing round, that hits a lightly armoured vehicle. It's hull breaking even if it doesn't detonate. That's my last kill, and my last shell. You'll see why the waste of time of the actual stopping here and getting some shells was a waste of time in very short moments. If you look on the enemy team, there's a pretty good example of what it's going to be. If anyone says the M42, no, it's not that. And it's not the Puma either. I stopped here to collect, I think, 5 shells? I think I collected. I didn't collect many, because, well, the match was almost over anyway. I thought, if I could at least defend myself for a couple of minutes, I'll at least be fine with just 5. Do I get 6, or... No, I'm on the move. Turns out I only wanted to collect 5. But at this point, I'm just going to pause it here. Keep your tabs open. Which is your ears, by the way. It's just a bit of British slang. Have a good listen. If you can, of course. Can you hear that? Yeah. That's what I could hear. He drops the bomb in the replay messes up, lands right behind me, and blows my vehicle to Kingdom Come. And that, unfortunately, is most of the experiences that I had with the Chiha shotgun in most matches. I either got bombed or strafed by a plane, or I was killed by machine gun fire from tanks that my team should have seen and should have dealt with accordingly. But hey ho, I mean, 8 kills with 10 shells, I will certainly take that any day of the week. But like I say, this vehicle is quite fun to play. It's going to be used as a meme, no doubt, especially if it gets a better APHE round. But is it fun to play? Depends on who you face, really. If you fight the Germans, it'll be fun. If you fight the Allies, it'll be a hellhole. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's review on the Jihad long gun. And I will catch you all on the next one.